Peace, y'all, and welcome into another tea time. You already know the vibes, Divine Destiny. Back at it. We sipping on tea today. Hey, okay, that rarely ever happens in tea time, but we're doing it. We're actually doing it. I boiled apples today with a little bit of lemon, and then I threw some cinnamon and some ginger in here. And I ran out of honey, so I used like a honey stir stick, and it's peach flavored. I tell you guys, it literally smells and tastes just like an apple pie. Mm, it's fueling myself. You already know the vibes. Grab your tea, grab your water, grab your blanket, grab your schmuck, grab whatever it is you need to vibe with me today to jump into today's tea time. Today we are talking about the advantages and the disadvantages of having your head in the clouds, okay? Coming from a certified daydreamer, okay? All right, y'all. So this video is for my daydreamers. Okay, this is for my people who got their head in the clouds. This video is for my people who got their head filled with stardust. Okay, y'all, my people. Thank you for being here. Okay, if that's you, like this video, so I know what's up. All right. Before we get into it, I guess how did I come up with this tea time segment? Because I am the daydreamer, okay? I recently had a conversation with somebody that they were like, "You're really a dreamer." Like, almost like I wouldn't say they was trying to burst my bubble. I think they were more so like feeling the need, like, "Oh, I'm your friend, so I need to pull you back into reality. Like, I need to bring you back down to earth because your head is in the clouds and I don't think you're fully thinking this thing through of like what you need to do and like all of the things." I happily let them know to fuck off. Okay. I happily let them know I am a dreamer. Oh, you're right. I am a dreamer and I'm gonna keep being just as dreamy as I want to. Why? Because it fucking works for me. And just because you're a daydreamer, just because you have your head in the clouds, right? You're focused in several different places, present and the future. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're there does not mean you're not grounded. It can. It has for me personally, okay? That doesn't mean those two things do not coincide, right? Like for me personally, I am very much a daydreamer, okay? As far as like just life in general. Okay. I am the optimistic person who feels like life is working in my favor in every aspect because it is. Okay. Nobody convinced me otherwise at this point in my life. Big 30 at my big age, can't nobody tell me otherwise because I've been through what the fuck I've been through, and I don't look like what I've been through because I have always kept that dreamer esque energy about me. Like even when I'm going through struggles and rough times and hardships, like I'm still being a dreamer. I'm still so inspired by what I know and feel is for me and moving toward me that even when the things in my present don't reflect what I feel and know I'm moving toward, excuse me, yeah. Even in that, I'm going to be moving like what I feel and know is already here. It's already mine because it is, right? You got to feel it and be it to attract it, to make it exist in your timeline. And I'm heavy on that. So people, a lot of people, okay, it's not just this one person that I was talking to, but I am pretty close with this person. So I thought it was interesting that they're the one who delivered that message to me, but it also let me know like if this person who is this close to me who knows like how I actually move and operate still feels like I'm like a dreamer in like lucid headspace, then I know for a fact that like the actual external world, like the people who don't get to see like the internal workings of my life, they also like that's just I'm coming to realize like that's the perception that people have of me, which is absolutely fine. I've been a dreamer my entire fucking life. And that's not going to change for anybody, right? And people have been trying to like squander that dreamerness within me because they don't got it in themselves to dream. And like every time somebody else gets squandered because it ain't me. I'll tell you what, okay? It ain't this little light of mine. It will effing shine. Okay. So let's get into it. I just been babbling and talking and shit. But I think being a dreamer, being somebody who is inspired or ignited by what you feel and know deep down in your soul is for you, or who it is you are becoming, or what it is you are stepping into, right? Somebody who is fully inspired by the future they see within themselves. And I feel like people have a problem with that, maybe because they don't see that same future for themselves, or they don't see a future for themselves at all, right? Because at the end of the day, like the future I see for me is not going to be the future you see for you. Matter of fact, the future I see for me is not going to be the future somebody else sees for me, because they can only recognize and understand and identify with the world from their point of view, from their experiences, from their cognizance, right? From their own understanding of the world around them and within them, right? So my understanding of the world around me and within me is completely different from the next person and literally every other person in this world. And that's the fucking point, right? So I really have made it a point, especially like now as an adult, like I'm unmovable, I'm unshakable in my energy, in my daydream, right? And there's nothing wrong with being a daydreamer. There's nothing wrong with having your head in the clouds or like your head being full of stardust. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. The problem presents itself when you're not grounded, right? And that's where a lot of people assume you are when you have your head in the clouds, just because like you're always up here, you're always somewhere else, right? You have a certain level of detachment to everything around you. You have a certain level of disconnection to everything around you, and not like not like you don't care, right? You're just kind of like, and detachment is healthy, right? We should all have a certain level of detachment moving in this world, because nothing is actually ours, right? With that being said, when you carry a certain level of detachment and you're in that inspired daydreamer energy, people feel like you are not here presently or grounded in the reality of whatever situation. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be nighttime. And with that being said, a new day gonna come. Right. So at the end of the day, if I'm a daydreamer and you feel like I'm not presently here in my reality, that's because I'm not fucking with the reality that's reflecting with me right now. So you're right. I'm probably not here. I'm probably energetically, vibrationally, mentally, even emotionally connecting to the energy, the reality, the timeline that I'm trying to shift on. So no, I'm not here, and I don't have to be. I don't have to be sitting here stuck in this level of reality with the people who aren't dreaming up another reality to live in, right? Like, we're clearly not on the same space, so I don't have to sit here and pretend like I am, like, and I think that's what bothers people, is like they're in this present reality and this is the reality they see. And I am the dreamer, or you are the dreamer, and we are dreaming of new realities, new timelines, new experiences, opportunities. Do you feel me? To attract to ourselves, not to go get. Right? I feel like people who are not with their head in the clouds, I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot of people who are not with their head in the clouds are so stuck. My nose is starting to run. I'm channeling. Thank you, Spirit. I feel like people who are not in that energy, who don't be daydreamers and inspired by like what could be, right? They're stuck in the what is. Those people can call it grounded if they want to, but it's like really giving that attachment word is popping up again, right? Like they're so attached to their present that they can't see beyond that, right? Like this is your reality right now. And if you're not moving forward from that reality step by step, you're not doing it right. Like, right? Here's the energy of like people who don't have their head in the clouds. Sorry for my baby crying. Y'all, he a little fussy today. But it's giving the energy of people who don't have their head in the clouds are very attached, right? It's that attachment versus detachment thing. They're very attached to the the reality that they're in at this moment. And the friend that like told me that I have my head in the clouds was very much on that point. Like, you see where you're at right now, right? Like this is the reality of where you are, and I hear where you're trying to go, but like here is your reality. And like, one, personally, I don't need anybody else to try to tell me my fucking reality, right? Like, just period. I live it every day. You don't gotta tell me where I'm at in life, but that does not define where the fuck I'm going either. And just because the people who are not daydreamers would go about getting out of the current reality a different way than I'm going about getting out of mine. Okay. And just because they would go about getting into a new reality different than the way I go about getting into mine, you know what I'm saying, does not make my way of going about things, my way of existing, my way of attracting and manifesting into myself, any less at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like how you are called or led to move or to do or to be or to exist is for you only. And nobody else can tell you that like you're moving or doing or existing or being in the wrong way. I mean, obviously, like morally, legally, right? You know what I'm saying? But like in reality, if you are in this space in the present and you want to get to that space in the future, how you choose to do that or what that journey looks like for you is your journey solely. Nobody else is taking those steps. Nobody else is going on that journey. And yeah, there might be people there to support you upon that journey, but they're not taking those steps. The only person actually facing your present reality to your future reality to whatever reality it is that you want to create is you. The only person taking those steps every day is you. So do not let other people, especially for my daydreamers, okay, do not let people try to tell you how to move through your reality or how to perceive your reality or how to live in your reality, right? Or how to change your reality unless the information that they're giving you is like actually resonating with your soul. And if it is, you'll know. You'll know. But just because somebody is not a daydreamer, somebody is not with their head in the clouds, don't let them try to pull you back down to earth, because who's to say that you're not grounded in the first place? I personally have spent this last 30 years of my entire life actually finding grounding. I am very grounded within my reality, within my present reality right now. I'm very grounded. I know exactly what's going on around me. That doesn't mean that I'm not focused on where I want to go. And that doesn't mean that where I want to go has to look a certain way because other people would do it differently. It's absolutely not going to look the way that they think it's going to look. It's going to look the way that spirit is calling for me to walk. And like other people don't have to understand that. Do you feel me? I feel like a lot of people with their head in the clouds are spirit led, right? Because you're not walking this journey in your stuck, stagnant, and attached to your physical body in the present moment that your physical body is in, right? Like you're not holding heavy to that, right? You are with your head in the clouds. You have your head full of stardust, so you can see. If your head is in the clouds, you can see the entire view, right? Like let's look at an airplane. The airplane is flying what? In the clouds. And when you're in the clouds on an airplane and you look down out that window, what do you see? A grid of the entire landscape. It's the same thing with life. If you're living with your head in the clouds, you can see a grid of the entire landscape, right? You're not just focused on what is right here in front of you. Because now, if you're just right here, and this takes me back to a tea time I did a long time. It's like one of the first tea times I did, talking about the bird's eye view, like God's bird's eye view. So, like, the advantage is, I'm not saying you have God's bird's eye view, but you have a bird's eye view if you are moving with your head in the clouds, right? You can see the grid, the landscape, the larger view of things when you're moving with your head in the clouds. And when you're viewing from up there, right? Now I can make choices and decisions that are based on the course at hand, not just what is in front of me. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you feel me? I know you feel me. I know you feel me. If you feel me, like this video, so I know it's resonating with you. Comment in them. Let me know experiences that you've gone through where people tried to pull you from your head in the clouds, right? Tried to pull you from the stardust. When in reality, that's exactly where you're supposed to be. The only thing about that is, are you grounded or are you not? Because if your head is in the clouds and your feet aren't firmly planted on the ground, you just floating. Now you're just a kite or a balloon or a plastic bag blowing in the wind. Do you feel me? Like, just no objective. No objective, just floating around. And that's what people assume when they see daydreamers, when they see people with their head in the clouds, when they see people with their head full of stardust and like spiritually led, all of that, like, because they can't see the landscape grid of why would you choose that path when this path is right in front of you. They assume that you just are not grounded, that you just don't, you just moving through life, which is fine. Let them assume and keep doing you, bro. But make sure that your feet are planted firmly in the ground. Your head can be as high in the clouds as it wants to. Matter of fact, I'm an advocate. Please put your head in some clouds. However, please keep your feet firmly rooted and grounded, so that when you're making these movement choices and decisions with your head in the clouds, when you're up looking at that grid of view, you can say, oh, I'm sitting right here in the present. I'm at this crossroads and I could go right, left, or I could go straight, right? If you were only sitting with your feet in the ground and you didn't have your head in the clouds, that's your only choices. Those are your only options. And you're going to make the decision from your best knowledge and ability and then go down that road and hope that it works out for the best, right? Whereas, like, if you are living with your head in the clouds and I'm looking down at a landscape grid of things, and I'm where my feet are planted is at that crossroad, and I'm right, left, or center. Y'all get it, right? Now I'm with my head in the clouds and I can see if I go right, it's going to lead me down this path. If I go straight, it's going to lead me down this path. If I go left, that's going to be the quickest. That's going to be the quickest route to where I want to go. Most people wouldn't have gone left because they're making a decision based off of what they can see and feel and explain right here in the present, right? Whereas here I go with my head in the clouds and now I can see the full grid and I'm looking at the map and it just makes sense to make this little shortcut. Take this little left. Spirit said take this little left. Most people who are in the present gonna go straight, right? But they can't see all the roadblocks and the challenges and the speed bumps and all that other shit on the path because they're not looking from that higher grid, right? They're not keeping their head in the clouds. They're worried right here, keeping themselves present, which is fine. But also, there is absolutely nothing wrong with keeping your head in the clouds, baby. Keep your head in the clouds and keep your feet on the ground. Duh. Crashbacks. Shout out. If anybody, okay, that was my literal entire childhood. So if anybody needs to watch HBO Crashbox, head in the clouds, keep your feet on the ground. Stay grounded, but stay elevated at the same time, because duality, everything is everything. Everything is both. And if you're only living from one, if you're living too grounded in that present moment, you're not going to be able to make the the necessary moves as easily, right? You're not going to access all of the information. You're not going to see all of the map, right? You're just going to be making decisions from what you can see, which is you'll get where you need to go. It's just going to take you longer, right? You're going to go through those challenges. You're going to go through those lessons, those detours, those roadblocks, all of that, all of that. And I'm not saying that you don't go through detours or challenges when you have your head in the clouds, because you absolutely do. But when I have my head in the clouds and I'm looking at that landscape grid and I say, oh, this left path, if I go that way, it's going to get me where I want to quicker. I can see the obstacles and challenges. I can see the roadblocks. I can see the detour signs, right? Nobody's saying that that's not going to happen. We're just saying that still, that doesn't make the left path. The left path is still going to get me where I want to go as quick as possible, even though I still have to go through these obstacles, these challenges, these roadblocks, whatever. Like, we're all learning and growing through life. You're all learning and growing through life. It's a lot easier to do when you're grounded in the feet and elevated in the head. That's all I'm saying. If you like this video, share it with somebody you love. Share it with somebody you feel needs to hear it, whether their feet are planted on the ground, their head is in the clouds, or somewhere in the middle. If you need anything from me, you can book a personal reading, you can book a yoga session, literally just tap in with your girl. All that information is in the description box or my bio. Until next time, stay divine.